Discover the incredible truth that silenced everyone after my son banned me from his wedding. Linda felt her heart drop as Jake's words echoed in her mind, each syllable loaded with a weight she hadn't anticipated. Mom, I can't have you at the wedding. You'll embarrass me. How could he say that? They had built their lives on love and sacrifice, the very foundations of their small Midwestern town. Now, they stood on the precipice of a chasm so deep it felt insurmountable. She remembered the laughter they shared, the countless late-night cramming sessions when she would wrap her arms around him during those moments of doubt. And now, he was turning his back on everything they had built. The streets of her town buzzed with whispers of pride. Jake had landed a prestigious job, and the entire community felt like it had achieved something monumental. But now, the gossip shifted to pity. Linda wrapped her arms around herself, a shiver running through her. Banned from her son's wedding. It felt unreal, a nightmare she couldn't wake from. How could someone who had sacrificed so much for her child be relegated to the sidelines like this? Her mind raced back, fragments of their story flashing like an old real family dinners, where sticky fingers reached for mashed potatoes, and Jake's laughter filled the room like music. Yet between those cherished moments lay the silent struggles, layoffs, long nights working double shifts, struggling to make ends meet. Every ounce of her effort had been poured into raising a kind, strong man. Now, Jake stood ready to abandon the very values they'd treasured. Time drifted by, each day building the tension like a pressure cooker. Linda threw herself into her work, each task a feeble attempt to distract herself. It was during a still, quiet evening, filled only with the clatter of her keyboard, that she stumbled onto a letter from her late father. Words of wisdom penned in his familiar looping script reminded her of resilience and self-worth. They crashed against the bruised walls of her heart, igniting something deep within. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With each syllable, Linda felt her determination solidify. She could no longer stand by in silence. The final confrontation loomed ahead, and she knew she must speak her truth. The wedding wasn't just about opulence or societal standing, it represented the love that came from perseverance, tears, and endless support. As she stood in front of Jake, the silence stretched between them, heavy and tense. I loved you fiercely and gave you everything I had. Please don't let these changing tides wash away our bond. His eyes reflected a storm fear, confusion wrapped in layers of societal expectations. Could he see her? Could he feel the weight of their shared history? As the air thickened around them, Linda held her breath. Would he realize what really mattered? Or would she find herself standing alone in the shadows of a world she desperately wanted to be a part of? The answer shimmered just out of reach, and her heart raced with the hope that maybe, just maybe, it wasn't too late to mend what was breaking. The tension hung in the air like a thick fog, each heartbeat drumming louder in Linda's chest. She watched Jake's face for a flicker of understanding, a hint that he might grasp the depth of her love. But his expression was a mixture of defiance and uncertainty, leaving her feeling like a lone ship lost at sea. Mom, you don't get it, Jake finally said, his voice shaking, as if the words were foreign in his mouth. It's not just about you. It's about what people will think. This is supposed to be my big moment. His insistence on appearances cut deeper than she'd expected. It wasn't just about the wedding. It was about everything that had shaped him: the job, the friends, the expectations that came wrapped in privilege. She could feel her mind racing back to those days of struggling together, filled with laughter amidst the chaos. But what about us? What we had? She asked, desperate for him to see her. You think a wedding without your mother will fix everything? I'm not some ghost from your past, I'm a part of who you are." For a moment, she thought she saw a crack in the facade. His eyes welled with uncertainty, as if the weight of her words first struck him. But then the storm returned. The bravado shrouded him once again, reaffirming the barriers this world had built. "Sometimes you just have to let go," he said, his voice turning cold. "Maybe you should learn that." Her heart ached. Learning to let go. She had spent years holding on, scraping together every ounce of strength to give him a stable life. Yet every ounce of instinct screamed for her to fight back. "Jake," she said, her tone softer now, "I raised you to stand firm, to not let the world dictate who you are. And right now, you're letting it pull you away from us. From me." He shook his head, disappointment etched across his features. "I can't do this anymore, Mom. I need to think about my future." The doors to her hopes felt like they were slamming shut, one after another. A future without her, without the bond forged through countless sleepless nights and uncertain days. "Please, I'm asking you to reconsider," Linda implored, her voice filled with the raw urgency of a mother who felt she was losing everything. "This wedding is just one day we can rebuild our relationship, but we need to start here, with the truth." He hesitated, and for a breath, she held on to the thread of possibility. But just as quickly, his resolve hardened again. "I can't promise anything." As he turned away, a part of her shattered in that moment. The reality set in. A wedding without her would not only mark another public rejection, it felt like the end of an era. She wanted to scream, to shake him and demand he see the love that bound them was worth fighting for. But instead, she felt an overwhelming urge to surrender to the sadness. Sitting on the edge of her bed that night, she picked up the letter from her father again, reading it like a lifeline. With every word, she was reminded that resilience was woven into her very being. She couldn't give up on Jake. Not now. The next day, she resolved to take one last chance, one last, daring step toward mending their fractured relationship. Armed with her father's spirit and a heart full of hope, she would confront the truth behind Jake's sudden shift. But what she didn't expect to uncover would shake her to her very core. Linda spent the morning pacing the small kitchen, her thoughts a whirlwind of doubts and emotions. How could she approach Jake without triggering another defensive barrier? She brewed coffee, the familiar aroma swirling through the air but offering little solace. Every sip felt like a reminder of what she had once shared with him: quiet mornings, laughter, and dreams whispered as they watched the sun rise. As the clock ticked closer to noon, she steeled herself, clutching a small notebook filled with memories she wanted to share. Each entry reiterated how much they had been through together, how much he had meant to her in every step of this journey. It was time to face the truth. She had to understand what was at stake for him. On her drive to Jake's, a tender pain nestled within her heart. Was it right for her to pry into his life? She had given everything to ensure he felt loved and secure, but it felt like she was about to lose him for good. Tears pricked her eyes, but she quickly wiped them away, shaking her head as if that could dispel her fears. Arriving at his apartment, she hesitated at the door. What if he wasn't ready to talk? What if he pushed her away again? Breathing deep, she knocked, each sound reverberating louder than the last. When Jake opened, he looked surprised but didn't usher her in or greet her. Instead, he stood there, arms crossed, a defensive stance that sent a chill down her spine. "Mom," he said, his tone flat, "what do you want?" "I need to talk, Jake," she replied, trying to keep her voice steady. "Please, can we sit?" He shifted slightly but opened the door wider, motioning for her to enter. As she stepped inside, her eyes took in the familiar space, yet it felt foreign. The pictures they once shared had been replaced with moments of a new life, a life that seemed to want her out. They settled on the couch in silence, the air thick with unspoken thoughts. Finally, Linda opened her notebook, flipping through pages stained with memories, until she found a moment that stood out. "Do you remember this?" she asked, gesturing to a drawing he made at 8 years old. It depicted the two of them at the beach, laughing with the sun setting behind them. Jake's eyes softened briefly before shifting away. "Yeah, I remember. Those moments mattered, Jake," she continued, feeling a spark of hope. "They shaped us. I just want you to know that I'm still here, rooting for you, just like back then." He looked at her with a mixture of anger and sadness. "But you don't get it. It's not about the past, Mom. It's about the future. I can't have you there. It's complicated." "Complicated how?" Her heart raced. "Please, tell me. What's really going on?" His expression faltered. For a fleeting moment, she saw vulnerability swirling in his eyes. But then he hardened again, raising a wall that seemed insurmountable. "There's just so much you don't understand. It's not just my wedding. I'm trying to create a life that what?" She interrupted, desperation spilling out. "That excludes me. Jake, that's not how families work. We're supposed to lean on each other." The air crackled with tension. Then he exhaled deeply. "It's complicated, Mom. Being open means exposing things I've kept hidden. Maybe things you don't want to hear." A chill coursed through her. What could be so tragic that he felt he had to hide? It was no longer just about the wedding, it was something deeper and darker than she had imagined. "Please, Jake. Whatever it is, I want to hear it. I'm here." He finally looked at her, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "You're right, it's time you knew the truth." Just then, the phone buzzed on the coffee table, a distant reminder of the reality outside their fragile moment. But this family crisis stretched on the surface of something monumental, and it felt like everything was about to change. "Mom, I think I'm scared you won't understand." Before he finished, the phone buzzed again, louder now, demanding attention. In that moment, Linda's heart raced, sensing an urgency about to unfold that would unite them or drive them apart. Forever. What lay beneath Jake's hesitations could reshape everything they thought they knew about each other. Would he open up? Would she be able to handle the truth? Linda felt an electric tension in the air, like a storm was brewing just on the edge of their fragile moment. Jake's wavering voice hung between them, thick with unsaid words, and her heart pounded in anticipation. The phone buzzed again, its persistent insistence a reminder that the world outside was still turning, unfazed by the emotional cyclone swirling in his living room. "Jake, please," she urged gently, hoping to pull him back into their conversation. "You have me right here. Whatever it is, we can face it together." He leaned back, arms still crossed tightly. It was a barrier, a clear signal that he was retreating within himself. Yet, amid the tension, she saw the flash of vulnerability in his eyes, a flicker of hope that perhaps he was still willing to break through. "Mom," he said softly, his voice trembling slightly. "I'm scared. I've been carrying this weight for so long. And if I tell you, there's a chance you won't look at me the same way again." "I could never," she didn't let him finish. "You're my son. I love you unconditionally, no matter what." Just then, he ran a hand through his hair, a nervous gesture she recognized well. It was his tell, the way he always reacted when stress twisted around him like a vice. Yet, beneath that stress, she sensed something deeper. A wound that perhaps hadn't healed. "Okay," he finally mumbled, his gaze dropping to his lap. "But I don't know where to start." "Start wherever feels right," Linda encouraged, hoping to anchor him. "I'm here for you." He took a deep breath as if preparing for a plunge into the deep end. "When I met Amanda, it was supposed to be perfect, you know. I thought she was the one," Jake began, his voice growing more animated as he spoke but still edged with trepidation. "But then, things started to change. We had our moments, happy times, but lately it's been different." "Different how?" She leaned closer, sensing the walls around him begin to shake. "Her parents don't approve of me, Mom. It's not just about the wedding. I can feel the pressure. Their expectations are weighty, and Amanda is caught in the middle. Jake's voice broke slightly, and a single tear rolled down his cheek, reflecting the light like a shard of glass. I feel like I'm losing her. And if I lose her, his words trailed off, heavy with implication. Linda felt her own breath catch in her throat. You're afraid they'll take her from you? Yeah, exactly. They want me to be someone I'm not. I'm not good enough for their perfect little girl, and she is becoming someone I barely recognize. I try to keep it together, but... He ran his hands over his face, releasing an exasperated breath. I don't know if I can do this. If I can face you and then have to face her and her parents, it just feels impossible. Linda's heart ached at the anguish painted across his face. Jake, if you're feeling pressure to change, that's not love. True love finds a way to accept you for who you are. He looked at her, eyes searching hers as if trying to measure her reaction. But what if I end up with no one? In that moment, days of unspoken fears and hopes unspooled between them. She wanted to reach out, to comfort him, but she hesitated, unsure of how he might interpret her actions, too. Instead, she offered the truth she had learned. You are not alone, Jake. I'm here, and I always will be. You deserve to be happy, and you should never have to sacrifice who you are. For a moment, they were both silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. He wiped at his cheek, a hint of relief breaking through his expression, momentarily washing away the storm clouds that surrounded him. But then that uncertainty returned, a flicker of doubt igniting again. Mom, the phone buzzed once more, sharply this time, breaking the intensity, demanding to be heard. This time it wasn't a distraction, it felt like a sign. Jake looked at the screen that lit up in front of them, and the look of dread that passed over his face sent a jolt through her. Maybe we should just ignore it, she suggested cautiously, unable to shake the feeling that whatever this call was, it could change everything. No, I can't avoid this anymore, he said, swallowing hard. Do you trust me? A knot formed in her stomach, but she nodded, knowing that this was a pivotal moment. I trust you, Jake. The phone stopped buzzing. Jake's face turned serious, his breaths coming deeper, his resolve solidifying. Okay, then let us see what happens next. If I'm going to let you into my life, then it's time you know everything. Her heart raced as she braced for the storm to hit, understanding that the moment they had shared was only the beginning of a much larger journey. What truth awaited them on the other side of that door? Jake stared at the phone for what felt like an eternity. The silence in the room grew heavy, amplifying the quiet hum of the buzzing device. Linda's heart drummed in her chest. She could sense that whatever was about to unfold might alter everything they had built together, every moment of trust and love. Mom, it's Amanda, Jake said finally, as if it were a verdict more than a mere fact. The tension morphed from anxiety to something sharper, a sense that everything hung in the balance. I should answer her. Okay, she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. But what if it doesn't go the way we hope? Then we deal with it together. There was a quiet strength in his words that rose amidst the storm. He took another deep breath, almost a preparation for battle, and accepted the call. Hey Amanda. He said, his tone shaky yet determined. The moment lingered, taut like a pulled wire ready to snap, and Linda watched him, the slight tremor in his hands, the way his eyes flickered with a mixture of resolve and fear. As Jake listened, the room felt charged. Linda clung to the edges of her seat, her breath suspended while she watched her son. What do you mean you're here? His grip on the phone tightened, as if it were a lifeline. Her mind raced with scenarios. Did Amanda want to break up? Did she come to confront him? Jake, just listen, she muttered gently, but he only nodded, his face reflecting whatever Amanda said on the other end. A few moments passed in an electric silence until he finally spoke again, and his voice was barely above a whisper. I can't just leave like that. It's not that simple. Linda's heart sank. Each word from Jake was punctuated by a terse expression that told her this was no ordinary phone call. This was a watershed moment. Forcing herself to be steady, she caught a glimpse of vulnerability in Jake's eyes. "Are you okay?" she asked softly, but his focus remained on the conversation unfolding in front of him. "I love you too, Amanda," he finally said, but the words felt strained, awkward in the air between them. "Look, let us just meet, yeah, I'll be there." He ended the call, and for a brief moment, the world held its breath. The reality of what had just happened washed over him, his face paling as he absorbed the impact. "She's at my apartment." Linda's stomach twisted. "What do you mean? Is she okay?" "She's upset. Says we need to talk about everything. About us. About my parents." Jake's voice trembled as the shadows of doubt crept back into his features. "She wants me to figure this out." "She's still in the middle of everything," Linda replied, frustration bubbling to the surface. "Jake, you can't let them dictate who you should be." He shoved his hands into his pockets, his own fight bubbling to the surface. "You don't get it. I don't want to lose her, Mom. I can't just walk away from her, even if it means facing her parents." "True love doesn't come with conditions, Jake," she said firmly. "You deserve someone who will stand by you, not someone caught in the middle of a battle." He gritted his teeth, a storm of emotions crashing visibly over him. "I don't know what to do. What if this is it?" Linda reached for him, the space between them charged with love. "Then we'll find a way. Together, remember." The uncertainty gnawed at her, but she felt the strength of their bond rise above it. In this critical moment, Jake's eyes met hers, a spark igniting something new and raw. "I need to tell her the truth about everything I've been holding back." The conviction in his voice surprised her. He was finally ready to confront the deeper issues, not just the surface. "Just be honest and trust your heart," she encouraged, her own heart racing alongside his determination. They were standing at the brink of something huge. "Yeah, okay." He bared his teeth in a tense smile, the first light she'd seen break through his stormy expressions tonight. "I'll call her back and ask her to meet me at the coffee shop nearby. It's where we first got to know each other." But just as he reached for his phone again, it buzzed. Linda's heart lurched. Once more. "Jake, wait," she said, alarmed by the urgency of the moment. "What if it's her again?" His expression hardened, a mix of determination and fear. For the second time in one night, they were faced with a choice, the weight of love and truth pressing forcefully against them. As he answered, the buzzing vibration seemed to echo in sync with the race of their hearts. What awaited them on the other side of this call? And would it finally help Jake find the peace he desperately needed? Jake's thumb hovered over the screen, uncertainty flooding his expression as he brought the phone to his ear. "Hello." His voice was steadier than he felt, a stark contrast to the tumult in his chest. Linda leaned in, every muscle taut with anticipation. Who could it possibly be at this hour, especially now? Jake. The voice on the other end was unfamiliar. "It's Sam. We need to talk." The name triggered alarm bells in Jake's head. Sam was Amanda's brother, and the worry etched across his face deepened. "What is going on?" he asked, but his voice trembled slightly, betraying him. "It's complicated, can we meet?" Sam's tone was urgent, and that unsettled feeling in Jake's stomach dropped even lower. "It's about Amanda. She's really not doing well." "What do you mean?" He pressed, the weight of his protective instincts kicking in. "She's just confused. You two need to figure this out." Sam's voice shook slightly too, but had an edge of determination. "I think it's better if we talk in person. Can you meet me at the park?" "I'll be there," Jake replied, feeling the blood rush to his ears. He hung up and turned to Linda, her eyes wide, searching for answers that had yet to be spoken. "What did Sam want?" she asked, regarding him with a mix of concern and hope. He thinks Amanda's struggling, Jake muttered, running a hand through his hair. He wants to meet and talk. Linda's heart pounded. This could either help or make things even trickier. Maybe it means she really is confused about what she wants. Maybe I still have a chance, he said, a glimmer of hope igniting inside him. Then go. Linda's decision came quickly. Talk to them. You need to figure this out. Just remember to be true to yourself, okay? Who you are comes first. His shoulders eased a fraction, the pressure lessening as he nodded. Yeah, you're right. But as he moved to grab his jacket, doubt flickered across his face. What if I show up and it's worse? What if she decides she doesn't want me at all? Whatever happens, you're not alone, she reminded him softly, placing a hand on his back. You have me. You always will. Trust your heart. You can handle this. Jake breathed deeply, feeling the anchoring presence of his mother. They shared a moment, a silent agreement that whatever lay ahead was a part of their journey, and they would face it together. Okay, I'm going, he finally declared, pulling on his coat. Each step toward the door felt heavy, anchored by anticipation. Linda opened the door for him, and a cold breeze met him like a fresh start, a reminder that the outside world held both danger and possibility. The park came into view, illuminated by streetlights but holding shadows that whispered secrets. As he walked, he thought of Amanda, the laughter, the tenderness of their shared moments, and the pain that had become a barrier. When he reached the bench, he spotted Sam sitting with a furrowed brow and a weary expression. Jake approached cautiously, his heart thudding like a drumroll, anxiety prickling his skin. Thanks for coming, Sam greeted him, his voice low. I worry about my sister. Me too, Jake replied, shifting nervously. What is going on, really? Before Sam could answer, a figure emerged from the shadows. Jake's breath hitched. It was Amanda. Jake, her voice was barely a whisper, her eyes darting between him and her brother. The moment hung, heavy with unspoken fears and feelings, the air charged with unresolved tension. As they stood there, emotions clashing like stormy seas, Jake felt the moment stretching on, like a rubber band strained to its limits, ready to snap at any second. Whatever happened next would change everything. Could they finally bridge the gap that had grown so wide? Or were they all about to confront truths too monumental to bear? The air felt electric as Amanda stood before Jake, her expression a mixture of vulnerability and confusion. Jake's heart raced, his mind spiraling through memories of better times, quiet moments on the couch, late-night whispers under the stars. He wanted to reach out, to pull her back from the edge of whatever shadow was swallowing her, but words caught in his throat. Jake, she started again, her voice trembling, almost breaking. I didn't know if you would come. I didn't think twice about it, he replied, forcing the calm he desperately sought. Sam said you're not, okay. What is going on? Talk to me. She glanced at Sam, seeking permission, then nodded slightly. It's just, everything. I feel lost. I don't know what I want anymore. Her eyes glistened, and Jake felt that familiar ache in his chest. That's all right, he said, almost soothingly. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't understand, she insisted, her voice growing stronger. I've been so consumed by what everyone expects of me, my parents, my friends. I feel like I'm drowning beneath these expectations. The anguish in her words hit Jake like a physical blow. Sam leaned forward, his expression earnest. We both know Amanda's been struggling with all this wedding stuff, but it goes deeper than that. We need to help her untangle these feelings. Jake's brow furrowed. What do you mean? You don't want to get married? Amanda pressed her lips together, squeezing her eyes shut as if blocking out the world around her. I love you, Jake, I really do. But I don't know if I'm ready for what everyone thinks is next. I don't want to run from my feelings anymore, or keep pretending. Hope flared in Jake's chest, but doubt raced alongside it. Are you saying you want to break things off? The words felt heavy, like stones raining down on him. I don't know. Maybe I need time to think. She looked at him, her eyes pleading, vulnerable. You deserve someone who knows. I don't want to hurt you. Pain sliced through Jake. But I want to support you, Amanda. I don't want to lose you over confusion. Silence hung thick between them, broken only by the rustle of leaves in the wind. Sam shifted uncomfortably, sensing the rawness of the moment. He wanted to step in and fix everything, but he knew that wasn't possible. This was something only Amanda could own. The flickering streetlights bathed them in a warm glow, but Jake couldn't shake the chill creeping up his spine. Then what do we do? How do we move forward from here? Amanda swallowed hard, her breath hitching. Maybe we take a step back, take a breath. Figure out what we really want. Jake's heart sank. Was this really what they had to do? It felt like standing at the edge of a cliff, poised to jump but scared of the fall. Maybe talking is a good start, Sam suggested gently. Just don't decide everything right now. You both need to feel what's real. Jake locked eyes with Amanda, the tension palpable. We'll figure it out together. I promise. But as he spoke those words, doubt flickered in his mind, shadows creeping back in. Would together mean they would find their way back, or was it a goodbye wrapped in hope? In the silence that followed, all three felt the weight of unanswered questions. As Amanda glanced away, staring into the distance, Jake wondered if the jump they stood on was a leap toward understanding or a freefall into uncertainty. What if this was just the beginning of something that would change everything they thought they knew? What if all they were about to confront were the very truths they had been afraid to face? Jake took a deep breath, feeling the tension linger in the air like the humidity before a storm. He glanced at Sam, who looked just as lost, and then back at Amanda. Her gaze was distant, lost in thought, as if she were grappling with her own internal battle. The flickering streetlight cast shadows on her face, highlighting the uncertainty in her eyes. Amanda, Jake began, hesitant but determined to keep the conversation open. You don't have to face this alone. I want to be here for you, no matter what that looks like. Each word felt heavy with meaning, yet he hoped they might break through the barrier of her doubts. She turned slightly, focusing on him. But that's just it, Jake. I don't know if I can let you in right now. It's not just about us, it's about everything. I feel like I'm at a crossroads, and every path looks terrifying. Terrifying doesn't mean you have to choose it all right now, Sam chimed in, trying to lighten the mood. Life isn't a straight line. It's a series of turns and twists. Sometimes you just have to take the scenic route. Amanda managed a weak smile at Sam's attempt to lighten the mood but then quickly withdrew into her thoughts again. Jake wished he could take away that weight. What if I'm just scared? She finally admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. What if I choose wrong? I don't want to ruin what we have. Jake stepped closer to her, feeling the warmth of her presence. We could take it slow. No pressure. Just us figuring this out together, just like you said. The hopeful glimmer in his voice made Amanda look up, meeting his gaze. He could see the flicker of determination rise within her. Maybe. But it's not just about making it work for us, she said. It's about being true to myself. I've spent so much time trying to please everyone else. I've neglected what I want. Jake felt a surge of understanding swell up in him. Then let us figure out what that is. Let us strip away the expectations and just be us, no strings attached. Sam leaned back, letting the pair have their moment, but he couldn't help feeling everyone's expectations dancing in the background. He wished he could sprinkle some magic over Amanda, to help her see how brave she was for even acknowledging these feelings. What would that look like? Amanda's voice trembled, taking on that hopeful tone. Jake's heart raced as he considered the future possibilities. It could mean spending quiet days together, no planning, no pressures. Just exploring what we enjoy again. Forget the wedding talk for now. Just you and me, doing things we love. Her eyes widened slightly, reflecting a blend of fear and exhilaration. What if I still can't figure it out? Then we take another day, another week. No hurry. There was a moment where the world outside blurred, and it was just the two of them, standing in the flickering light, hands almost touching. He could feel her heartbeat, the way their breaths synced up in the chill of the evening air. But even amidst this budding connection, a gnawing doubt tightened in his chest. What if it wasn't he enough? What if this softness didn't he hold together when real life crashed in? Do you really believe we can rediscover that? She whispered, vulnerability flooding her words. Yes, I believe that, he said, more certainty in his voice this time. But first, you need to believe it too. The quiet of the night pressed in on them, thick with unspoken worries and hopes. Well then, Amanda breathed, a shadow of a smile on her lips, maybe one step at a time can lead us somewhere we both want to be. Jake felt a thread of anticipation weave between them. Could they really navigate this path together? But deep down, uncertainty lingered. What if this wasn't the beginning of a new chapter, but the end of the fairy tale they both thought they were living? As they stood together, ready to take their first step into the unknown, the weight of the world seemed to transform into something lighter. Yet somewhere in the back of Jake's mind, a question loomed: what would happen when the moment for choices arrived? Would their hearts still be aligned? The silence stretched between them, palpable. It was like the world around had fallen away, leaving only the two of them wrapped in their own bubble of possibility and hesitation. What if we did something crazy? Sam broke the tension, his playful tone pulling Jake and Amanda back from the brink of overwhelming thoughts. Like a spontaneous trip. Get out of this town for a bit. Jake turned to Sam, a flicker of laughter bubbling in his chest. You mean like run away from our problems? Exactly. Sam grinned, his enthusiasm infectious. Sometimes you need to break the routine to see things clearly. Just us three. What do you think? Amanda looked between the two of them, her brow furrowed. You really think that would help? Just leaving everything behind? Not everything, just for a bit. We can tackle whatever happens afterward with fresh eyes, Sam proposed, his upbeat demeanor shining through the uncertainty. It doesn't have to be anything big, just a weekend drive, maybe a cabin by a lake. Relax, breathe, and figure things out together. Jake watched her reaction closely. He could see intrigue hiding behind her worries. It could be fun, Amanda. We'd get a chance to explore without the noise of everything else around us. Her eyes softened, caught between the fear of stepping out of her comfort zone and the allure of adventure. I don't know, what if it goes wrong? But what if it goes right? Sam shot back, his gaze steady. No expectations. Just us stepping into something completely new. Maybe that's what we need to rediscover ourselves. There was a heartbeat of silence as Amanda weighed his words. Then, slowly, she nodded. All right, let us give it a shot. But no high expectations, she added, a nervous chuckle breaking through her initial doubts. Jake's heart swelled at her willingness to take this leap. No expectations, only good vibes, he repeated, and they both shared a smile. Within moments, Sam was fueled with energy, instant plans spilling from him. All right. I'll pack my fishing gear. Who knows, maybe we'll catch dinner together. As the night wore on, there was laughter and camaraderie. The heaviness from earlier began to lift, replaced by a sense of lightness, a spark of hope for this escape. They spent hours discussing what they could do, places they could explore, and how they would navigate the unknown route ahead. But beneath the surface of excitement, Jake couldn't shake his creeping doubts. Would this experience really bring them closer? Could a weekend fix all the fractures in Amanda's heart? He masked his uncertainties with laughter, not wanting to darken the growing joy between them. As they finalized plans, Amanda's smile became contagious, and for the first time in what felt like ages, Jake felt an anticipation that didn't come with dread. "Tomorrow we'll take the first step," she said, her voice firm but filled with an underlying layer of hope. When they finally said their goodbyes for the night, Jake lingered, watching her a moment longer. Amanda looked back, her smile glowing in the faint light. It was a moment that reminded him of why he cared so deeply. But shadows loomed at the edges of this newfound light. What would happen when they faced the real truths waiting for them, once the weight of their lives returned? As Jake headed home, questions spun in his mind like the stars above, twinkling yet distant. Would the adventure truly open doors, or would they instead find themselves standing at an even greater crossroads? Jake awoke to a crisp Saturday morning, the sun filtering through his window, casting a warm glow over his cluttered room. Today was the day they'd escape, just him, Amanda, and Sam. As he prepared for the trip, he felt an unfamiliar thrill, tinged with the kind of nervous energy that hinted the road ahead would challenge everything. At the coffee shop where they'd agreed to meet, anticipation buzzed in the air. Sam was already there, animatedly scrolling through his phone. When Jake walked in, Sam's eyes lit up, and Jake felt a rush of relief to see his friend ready for adventure. "Ready for some fun?" Sam grinned, a mischievous sparkle dancing in his eyes. "Let us do this," Jake replied, shoving aside his lingering doubts. He felt a strange sense of optimism swirling through him, like a refreshing breeze sweeping away yesterday's heaviness. Amanda arrived soon after, breathless and radiant. Her slightly unkempt hair and casual attire made her look effortlessly stunning. "Sorry I'm late. Let South hit the road before I change my mind," she said, laughter bubbling in her voice. With that, they climbed into Sam's trusty old truck. As they hit the highway, the landscape unfurled like a story waiting to be written. Fields rolled past them in vibrant greens and golds, the open road stretching out like an invitation. As they drove, the conversation flowed, laughter mixing with the music on the radio. Jake could feel the weight of their tension lifting. Every mile felt like a step closer to rediscovering the bond that had felt so distant. He caught Amanda's eye in the rearview mirror and smiled, his heart racing with hope. "Let us make a pact," Sam declared, his voice full of enthusiasm. "This weekend, we bury our worries. Let us focus on what makes us happy and explore without the pressures of what's next." "Agreed," Amanda said, nodding with conviction. Living in the moment sounds perfect. Jake felt the warmth of their agreement envelop him, but nagging thoughts lurked. Was it really this simple? Was he truly strong enough to let go of the doubts that trailed him like shadows? The sun began to set as they reached the cabin by the lake, the sky awash in hues of orange and pink. It was picturesque serene. It felt like the world had wrapped them in cotton, isolating them from their worries. They unpacked and settled in, the laughter of the evening painting a backdrop of camaraderie. Later that night, they sat by the shimmering water, the stars reflecting on its surface. The moment felt sacred, and Jake couldn't shake the feeling that everything was poised on the edge of transformation. "I'm so glad we did this," Amanda said, her voice soft. "It feels like we can breathe out here." Jake looked at her, her aura glowing under the starlight. "We're all here. Together. That matters." Sam stood, stretching his arms wide and taking in the night. "Let us make some memories. We could even try fishing early tomorrow." Jake forced a chuckle, aware how much he didn't know about fishing. "I think I'm more of a grab pizza kind of guy." "Pizza can wait. Tonight, we celebrate," Sam declared, already rummaging for marshmallows to roast. The laughter returned, warmth circulating through their little group, holding back shadows from creeping in. But as the night plunged deeper, lingering questions chimed loudly in Jake's mind. What if the adventure unearthed truths he was ready to face? As dawn broke, Jake woke before anyone else, surveying the tranquil beauty of the lake. The peace was overwhelming, yet he felt knots of anxiety twist within him. Would he be able to truly support Amanda and address the weight of expectations they both carried? When the others stirred, They faced the day with contagious energy, and as they ventured into their escapade, Jake tried to suppress his worries. They laughed as they fumbled with fishing rods, their antics vibrant against the serene background. But amidst the joy, Jake couldn't escape the shadow of doubt casting over him. Later, they lounged in the shade of a tree, the quiet murmurs of the lake surrounding them like a gentle embrace. Jake turned to Amanda. "Do you feel different being out here?" he asked, honest curiosity threading his tone. "Definitely," she replied, her gaze thoughtful. "It's a reminder of what matters to me, being myself, being with you too. That feels powerful." Jake sensed the vulnerability in her response, a glimmer of the courage she was slowly building up to face herself. "What if we spent today exploring? Find a hiking trail or something," he suggested, wanting to push the both of them toward growth. They ventured off into the woods, the greenery enveloping them like a comforting hug. As they walked, Jake felt his connection with Amanda deepen. Their conversations shifted from the superficial to the profound, tackling what they might want moving forward. As they stood at the peak of a hill, overlooking the breathtaking expanse of greenery below, Jake turned to Amanda. "Do you ever feel like you're standing at a crossroads? Like every decision could change everything?" Her eyes searched his, recognizing the storm of emotions swirling behind his words. "All the time," she admitted. "But what I'm finding is that maybe it's okay to choose not to choose, at least for a little while." Jake smiled, the weight of uncertainty lifting, if only for that moment of clarity. "Exactly, we're allowed to just be for a while." As they descended, a sense of unity blanketed them all. Despite the nagging fears that sometimes crept back in, they continued moving forward, their hearts fortified by shared laughter, vulnerability, and hope. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, they gathered around a fire. Their faces illuminated by the dancing flames, they shared stories of their pasts, their dreams for the future, and their apprehensions about the present. "I realize now that I don't have to pretend to be someone I'm not," Amanda confided, the warmth of the fire reflecting in her shimmering eyes. "I don't want to lose you, Jake, but I need to make sure I'm not losing myself in the process." Jake thought about the heaviness in her words, how they resonated deeply within him. "You won't lose me," he promised, reaching out to hold her hand. "We're both on this journey together. Let us figure it out side by side, wherever that may lead." Then, catching Sam's eye, he added with a grin, "And if it involves pizza and fishing along the way, I'm fully on board." Their laughter rang out, echoing into the darkness, a sound that pushed back the shadows of worry and self-doubt. Perhaps, just perhaps, they were embarking on a journey of discovery that would take them to places they could never imagine before. As they sat under the blanket of stars and infinite expanse, Jake felt an electrifying hope blossom within him. Whatever awaited them at the end of this path would be worth exploring together. But he also knew finishing this journey meant opening the door to truths too profound to ignore. They were not alone anymore, together, they could face anything, step by step towards an uncertain yet exciting future, a future they dared to shape, free of anyone else's expectations. As nighttime deepened, he felt a surge of gratitude swell up inside him. For friends, for love, for moments that could spark a transformation. And even in the uncertainty that lay ahead, they faced the night together, under the stars, ready to let the world unfold before them. Now, they just had to take that leap of faith. If you are feeling inspired by this journey and wish to see more heartfelt transformations, you need to subscribe now. Don't wait not even one more second to hit that button and keep up with our exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and spread these messages of hope. Comment below with your reactions and feelings about this powerful ending. Your thoughts matter. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Show them the importance of facing life's challenges together, because only true fans understand the value of supporting the channel through actions like these.